Hello everyone, myself Parishmita Sharma. Today I am going to start the second chapter of your history part, Rise of Gandhi and the Freedom Movement of India. Let's take a look on the main points of this chapter. First, Rise of Gandhi. Non-violence movement, non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, Quit India movement, Indian National Army and Indian Independence Act. Before I start, if you are listening the audio, then make sure the book is with you, okay? Rise of Gandhi. So, the advent of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, popularly known as Mahatma Gandhi, was a landmark in the history of the freedom movement in India after the World War started in 1914. He returned from South Africa to India in 1915. Okay? The Allied nations, Britain, US and France, promised that democracy and national self-determination would be offered to India after the war. After the war means First World War. So see, Allied nations, Britain, US and France. So during the war, Germany, Austria, Hungary, Bulgaria and Ottoman Empire, the Central Powers, fought against Great Britain, France, Russia, Italy, Romania, Japan and the United States, the Allied Powers. Allied Powers promised to offer democracy and self-rule to India after the war. After the war meaning after the First World War, if they support the Allied forces. If they meaning Indian National Congress. If the Indian National Congress support the Allied forces in the First World War, then they promise to offer democracy and self-rule or Swaraj to India. But after the war, the Allied forces or Allied victory, after the Allied victory in 1918, they showed little willingness to end colonial system in India. So, this attitude of the British government disappointed the nationalist leaders of Congress and they decided to launch anti-British movement in India after the end of World War I. And here Russian Revolution of 1917 encouraged the Indian people a lot. Now, the Russian Revolution of 1917. Let's take a look. The Russian Revolution changed Russia from an autocracy to a communist system of government. So this revolution started during World War I and the Soviet Union was formed. I repeat, this revolution started during World War I and the Soviet Union was formed. So this revolution influenced the freedom lover people of India to come forward and stand against the British government. In 1915, Mahatma Gandhi's entry in India was a turning point for India's freedom struggle because Gandhi already established himself as a leader in South Africa. I repeat, because Gandhi already established himself as a leader in South Africa. In South Africa, Gandhi began the struggle of Indians against racism in South Africa in 1893 when he was a 24-year-old barrister only. Racism meaning racial discrimination and race meaning a group of people with particular similar physical characteristics. Okay? Mahatma Gandhi was born at Porbandar in Gujarat on October 2nd, 1869, in a well-to-do family. He proceeded to England in 1888 to study law and returned to India as a barrister at law. And in 1893, he went to South Africa, where he was deeply shocked by the political and social discriminations which were imposed by the Europeans upon Indian residents. He used the weapon of non-violence resistance not only against racial discrimination but also against the law which prevent the Indians to enter into the Transvaal province of South Africa, and he again used the weapon of non-violence against a judicial decision which made illegal all Indian marriages in South Africa, which were not registered and performed in accordance with Christian rites. He founded a political association known as Natal Indian Congress. I repeat, Natal Indian Congress, and also a newspaper called Indian Opinion, with a view to educating Indians in political matters and give publicity to their grievances. Gandhi was arrested and imprisoned for 9 months, but later he was released. His non-violent resistance, or the policy of non-violence, known as Satyagraha. The word Satyagraha is a compound of two separate words. I repeat, the word Satyagraha is a compound of two separate words. Satya meaning truth and agraha meaning adherence or holding fast. So, its root meaning is holding on to truth. Gandhi explained that Satyagraha or non-violence means intense political activity by large masses of people. Here, Gandhi was influenced by the writings of Tolstoy and Thoreau. Gandhi first applied the technique of Satyagraha in India to solve 3 local disputes in Champaran, North Bihar, in Kedah, Gujarat, and in Ahmedabad during 1917 and 18 AD. In Champaran, he took up the cause of peasants against landlords, in Kedah that of farmers against the collection of land revenue when their crops failed, and in Ahmedabad that of the mill workers against the mill owners. In each cases, The strategy was satyagraha or non-violence, and the principles were truth and non-violence. The real force working under Gandhi was mass participation. I repeat, the real force working under Gandhi was mass participation. Until 1918, Mahatma Gandhi was a supporter of British government. But when the expectations of Indian national leaders and Gandhi for major political gains after the Great War of 1914 to 1918 remained unfulfilled, then Mahatma Gandhi began to oppose the British policies. The post-war years were marked by severe economic trouble, like Indian industries were closed, the workers faced unemployment, high prices and poverty, high taxation, and the urban educated Indians also faced increasing unemployment. Because of First World War, almost all the sections of Indian society were adversely affected, and all these turned Mahatma Gandhi from a cooperator of the British to a non-cooperator. Now see Rowlatt Act of 1919. So in 1919, Rowlatt Act was passed. The Governor General Lord Chelmsford appointed a committee under the chairmanship of Justice Sidney Rowlatt to investigate the nature and extent of revolutionary activities against the British government by the Indian people. And on the basis of the report of Rowlatt Committee, the government passed the Rowlatt Act in 1919 AD. The Act, authorized the British government to imprison any person without trial and declare guilty in a court of law. I repeat, the Rowlatt Act authorized the government of British to imprison any person without trial and conviction or declare guilty in a court of law. In protest against the Rowlatt Act, Gandhi started the Satyagraha or the non-violence movement in 1919. According to Mahatma Gandhi, Satyagraha was a religious movement. According to Mahatma Gandhi, Satyagraha was a religious movement, a process of purification and penance. A process of purification of mind and penance. The meaning of the word penance, an act that shows that you feel sorry about something that you have done. The movement was launched on April 6, 1919 with a day of Hartal when business was to be suspended and the people were to fast and pray. Through this, Gandhi encouraged the people of India to keep patience and work hard to get freedom from the British government. Here also, Gandhi was arrested but was soon set free, and British government on its part tried to crush and almost crushed the movement with a heavy hand. Now see the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, April 13, 1919. Within a week of Hartal of 6th April, a considerable part of Punjab go into violent social upheaval, and on 10th April, two popular leaders of Punjab province were arrested by British government, namely Dr. Satyapal and Dr. Kitzlew. On Sunday, 13 April 1919, General Dyer, convinced a major insurrection could take place, so he banned all meetings. Without knowing about this notice of General Dyer, many villagers gathered in the Jallianwala Bagh to celebrate Vaisakhi and peacefully protest the arrest and deportation of Satyapal and Saifuddin Kitzlew. I repeat, the villagers gathered in the Jallianwala Bagh to celebrate Baisakhi and peacefully protest the arrest and deportation of Satyapal and Kitzlew. The meeting ground was enclosed on all sides by high walls and had one narrow entrance. Dyer and his troops entered the garden, blocking the main entrance, and with no warning opened fire on the crowd. They fired mercilessly. They, meaning the British troops, fired mercilessly on the unarmed and defenseless people. Hundreds of lives were lost and many more were injured. After that, martial law was imposed upon Amritsar and other areas, and this was marked by indiscriminate arrest, confiscation or taking away of private property, beating, etc. British government appointed a committee of inquiry under Lord Hunter to investigate the Punjab disturbances. Here, Dyer was removed from active service by the British government, but he was declared free from any guilt. At this, a strong wave of dissatisfaction moved in entire India. Rabindranath Tagore renounced or refused his knighthood in protest against the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Now see, Khilafat movement. In India, under the leadership of Maulana Shaukat Ali and Muhammad Ali, the Khilafat movement started. The Khilafat committee, Maulana Shaukat Ali and Muhammad Ali formed a Khilafat committee, and its object was the restoration of the Sultan of Turkey as Khalifa of Islam. As a result of the defeat of Turkey as a central power in the First World War against the Allied powers, the influence of the Khalifa or Caliph was greatly reduced. The Muslim people regarded the Sultan of Turkey as their Khalifa or spiritual head. So, they became upset when they found that he meaning Khalifa, would retain no control over his empire's holy places. The Muslims in India Khilafat Committee began to pressurize the British government to preserve the authority of the Ottoman Sultan as Caliph of Islam. Following the breakup of the Ottoman Empire at the end of the First World War, Mahatma Gandhi and National Congress also decided to extend support to the Khilafat movement, as Gandhi viewed it as a golden opportunity for bringing Muslims and Hindus together on the national front. And Mahatma Gandhi successfully persuaded the Khilafat Committee to accept the policy of non-violence and non-cooperation to the British government. So, with the support of Mahatma Gandhi and Indian National Congress, the Khilafat Committee pressurized the British government to preserve the authority of the Ottoman Sultan as Caliph of Islam. That's all for today's class. In the next class, we will start the non-cooperation movement of 1920 by Mahatma Gandhi.